So I want to talk about this gentleman right here. This guy goes by the name of Johnny Gargano, aka Johnny Wrestling. Now, if you're called Johnny Wrestling, you must be a great wrestler. Also think of Johnny Football from back in the day. Johnny, whatever his last name was from football, that's kind of like a similar thing going on here. So Johnny Gargano, he wrestled for NXT, and he was basically like the heart of NXT for the longest time. Like literally, they called him the heart of NXT back when NXT was the top wrestling show in all of professional wrestling around the world. So Johnny Gargano can go. He and his wife wrestled, Candice LeRae. They were having a baby, so they both had taken time off. Johnny came back for a little bit, and then his contract ran out. And this was around the same time Triple H was no longer running NXT. So everyone's like, okay, Johnny Gargano, Triple H ain't there. He's one of Triple H's favorite guys. Chances are he's going to go to AEW, maybe Impact, maybe New Japan. He can go anywhere else. And he's been off. He was doing stuff on Twitch TV / whatever his thing is. I don't know who he is on Twitch, but he would go on there and he was always telling people just watch all the shows. I might pop up anywhere. You never know. I might be on any wrestling channel, or so just watch everything. And he was gone for the longest time. And then now with Triple H running WWE, like story creative stuff, now Johnny Gargano's back in WWE. Funny coincidence. So Gargano's back in WWE. He showed up on Raw, which everybody was very excited to see, and I'm so happy he's there under the, the reign of Triple H, because Johnny Gargano is not a big guy, and in Vince McMahon's eyes, if you're not like 6'4" and 250 pounds, you might as well not even be there. So Johnny Gargano does not fit that mold, but he is a phenomenal wrestler, and I know he will be recognized as such with Triple H, doing what he's doing. So very excited, very happy to see Gargano there. Next up, bad news. I want to talk about Bobby Fish officially being gone from AEW. Bobby, look at that. I always like this little mouthpiece. Look at that. Check that out right there. So
his mouth guard.
Yeah, the mouth guard. That's what I meant to say. So Bobby Fish, not to be confused with the chess player. A great phenomenal wrestler. What's that?
Didn't even know that was
Bobby Fischer. It's
Bobby Fischer, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he was also in NXT during the Triple H reign, and he left. His contract ran out. He was picked up by AEW. He was never like the front of the pack. Like he was never like the star, but he was always like, you put him in a ring, he's gonna have a great match with whoever he's in there with. He was just never like the front and center guy. And he was part of like Adam Cole's crew just now, and it sucks to see him go because like his tag team partner Kyle O'Reilly is still in AEW as far as I know, and as I just said, Adam Cole is still there. So seeing that he's a free agent, a little bit upsetting, but he is a very talented wrestler. He can go anywhere. The only thing is he's not the youngest person. He could still wrestle with the best of them, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him transition to more of like a backstage role, maybe as an agent trying to help whatever. And in doing that, since he is so phenomenal as a wrestler, I'm sure he could go anywhere and find a job either wrestling or being a backstage agent or anything along those lines. I'm not worried at all for Bobby Fish or his mouth guard. I'm sure he will find work wherever he goes. So there's that. Bobby Fish is gone. Now I want to talk about Mickie James, who made a major announcement on Impact, and this is regarding to her in-ring career. So I did a little bit of reading on this.
She was still around.
Yep, I talked about it on the very first episode of PowerBomb Weekly. Thank you for paying attention.
On the very first episode of
first episode of PowerBomb Weekly.
You think I'm gonna remember that
Mickie
far?
James. Yeah. It hasn't even been a year. Hasn't even been a year.
Son, I forgot what I was saying during the fucking 3 seconds in one of our matches.
You said
he did say the same answer to
you said something, then I said something, and you said it again. I was like, no, you use that. I was like, you use that? I'm like, no, you can use that as well.
Exactly.
He didn't even say a different rebound or something. He just said rebound again.
Rebound again. I was like, you just said that. I was like, you said rebound? No. No, I didn't. That was you.
Yeah.
Mickie James. Basically, she basically saying that this is her quote unquote last rodeo. It says it right here in this article on WrestleTalk.com, written by Amanda Deschene. So she stated that this is her last rodeo. She's not going to be around for much longer. I'm not surprised. Mickie James has been wrestling for many, many years. One of the greatest women's wrestlers to ever do it. So seeing her go, it's a similar thing to Bobby Fish, where I'm sure she could go anywhere and she would be a great, useful talent. I don't know if she would want to go to WWE. with the way they treated her when she left. But who knows? We'll see.
But
But
would she go as like a wrestler or like a writer or GM?
I would see her. I would see her maybe go back and be an agent, maybe for the women's wrestlers, because Mickie James is like one of the best wrestlers ever. Like, not for nothing, people like to talk about Trish and Lita and all them. Mickie James is a better wrestler than both of those two easily. So, no disrespect to Trish or Lita, they're great, but it's just like Mickie was more, I feel like, a better in-ring talent than both of them. But I feel like she would be very useful, just like Bobby Fish, to help anyone out or do anything. And if she wants to continue wrestling, I'm sure she can do so at a very high level as well. So whatever she does, I'm very curious to see. Next up, I want to go with Braun Strowman, supposedly set to make a WWE return, also from Wrestle Talk, written by Taylor Sanchez. Braun Strowman with that dumb looking face. Look at that dumb face. It's like a giant baby with a beard.
It's a nice beard, though.
Oh, yeah. Braun Strowman's a great beard. Braun Strowman, real name Adam Scherr, left WWE surprisingly. He was one of the people that got released that caught everyone off guard because he was like a world champion. This man's a giant. He's nothing but muscle. He's everything Vince McMahon wants in a wrestler. And then Vince releases him. So when it's like when he left, everyone's like, anybody can go at this point. Like you don't even, who knows who's going to get released. So once they released Strowman, it was a shock, and he kind of went on to do a few other things here and there. He was part of the Control Your Narrative wrestling organization, which kind of never really existed, but it did. It's a whole thing. So it looks like he might be making his return back to WWE, which would be cool. He was never my favorite wrestler. For a big man, he's very agile, very athletic. Like the man could do a kip up, and he's like 7 feet tall.
Wow!
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that's a big kip up. But seeing him come back under the reign of Triple H, that should be really cool. It should be really interesting. So very curious to see what they're going to do with him. I'm not going to go into reading all this. If you want to check it out, go check it out. Give them a click. This is where I'm getting the story. They earned it. Now, off of Wrestle Talk, I want to talk about stuff that I actually did see. So AEW. Last time I was talking on this podcast, there was going to be a match between CM Punk and Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion versus the AEW Interim World Champion. Winner takes all. Winner is the undisputed AEW Champion. So they built up the match. It was, guy against guy. It was going to be this great thing. And then it was a very short-lived squash match. Eslam or Disco, can one of you tell me what a squash match is?
I'm guessing you've used this term before, because God, I don't think I've ever heard it. But
where you get a bunch of squash, you mash it up, you make a tub full of squash, and then you wrestle in it.
I'm gonna say
squash is the beef.
A short match.
Okay, Eslam, you're closer. You get the point. So this is what happened. Jon Moxley won in very much victorious fashion and destroyed CM Punk.
Damn.
And completely caught everyone off guard. It was like, wow, nobody saw this coming. Now, and remember, I told you guys, CM Punk was out for a long time with a foot injury. He broke his foot. So the way the match went, at one point, CM Punk goes to kick Jon Moxley in the face. The kick connects, but he pivoted on the quote-unquote broken foot or ready-to-heal foot. He goes down. Referee goes over. I want to say the referee threw up the X. The doctor comes over. Jon Moxley runs over to CM Punk, picks him up, and starts destroying this man like he's got nothing to lose. Just attacks him, just brutally. CM Punk's just left, just destroyed and mauled. As you can see, everybody's checking on Punk, and Moxley's like, I don't care, champ, I'm the guy. And it was great.
Did he see the X? Did he see that? He was like, fuck that.
Like I told you guys, because so many people know about the X, think about it. You guys who are not wrestling fans, you know what the X means. So you use the X to your advantage. The X is now kayfabe. The X has been kayfabe for some time now.
Oh.
So the X doesn't always mean the X. The X is sometimes to get people to think, oh, this is real. It wasn't. It wasn't real.
I see.
But yeah, so that's the thing. You always got to work the fans.
Nice.
So they did that. Moxley wins. And I said last time I was on PowerBomb Weekly that it wasn't. They was originally going to be at the pay-per-view, and they switched it to just be on regular TBS. It wasn't even on pay-per-view or anything. And this ended up being like the highest rating that they've done in a while because it was a champion versus champion match. Now the rematch is going to take place on the pay-per-view, and everybody wants to see the rematch.
That's
Genius.
smart. That's
Squash
smart.
match.
Yeah, that's very smart.
Yeah, so that is a squash match, by the way, where you have one person defeats the other person in decidedly fashion. It's like they just
overwhelming.
Yeah, it's just like you squash them. That's basically what it is. You just run through them.
That makes sense.
So they did that, and very much looking forward to seeing that. That pay-per-view is going to take place this Sunday, I believe it is. And I don't have a thing here because it's not that big of a news story, at least not to me. But WWE has a pay-per-view coming this Saturday, I believe. I believe it is Clash at the Castle. It's the first time they're having a major pay-per-view in the UK in a very long time. So that it is a big deal. Personally, I'm not that interested or invested in the matches going on. That's because I haven't been able to catch up. Main event there is Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. It's going to be a great match, I'm sure. But you got two big pay-per-views coming from WWE and AEW this week. So I will most likely be talking about that in the very near future. But that is all my wrestling news.